On today's Glory Day show, the New England Patriots pull off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history to beat the Atlanta Falcons. We'll have Pete Torgerson on to help convince us that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are the greatest to ever be part of the NFL.
And what the heck is going on at Madison Square Garden? As one of the most popular players in Knicks history is tossed from the stands, arrested, and banned for life from coming back. We'll have the full story on Charles Oakley incident and hear from someone who was at last night's game.
And baseball considering a number of changes to increase what Commissioner Rob Manfred is calling the pace of the game, trying to make the game more interesting for the casual fan. We'll take a look at the proposals and discuss the impact at the major league level.
The best hour of your sports week is coming up on Glory Days right now.
Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, February 11th, 2017. Gee, we're almost halfway through February.
Yes.
And you are watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Anthony Mazzallo and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C, right here in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm perplexed as to what happened at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking pretty good
Yeah.
by the time halftime come for a blowout.
It looked that way at halftime. Actually, it looked that way halfway through the third quarter, too, you know.
And, of course, we're going to be bringing
Pete Torgerson
on later. And
for him to gloat.
he is going to, the GOAT is going to gloat. But what I, you know, so I was watching the replay of the show last week.
Yeah.
And you had one of the most amazing stories of all time about the fact that you got two flat tires on a pothole in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And you got two flat tires.
Well, that's technically not true. It was one flat tire and another tire that had to get replaced.
You still had to get two flat tires. So I was thinking to myself, the odds of getting two flat tires at the same time, right?
Yep.
So I looked it up. And it's about 1.76 million to 1.
Really?
Right? It's about the same as winning the lottery.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about the movie. Remember the movie World According to Garp?
Yes.
Okay.
Great
There's
book.
this famous
Great book.
scene where they're looking. They're going to look at a house to buy, right? And an airplane crashes into the house, and he says, "We'll take it." And he says, "Well, why would you take that?" He says, "Because what's the odds of a plane crashing into the house again?"
Yep.
So you can now go through the rest of your life and never hit a pothole and lose two tires again. So I think you got that going for you.
Wrong again, my friend. Okay. There is a part 2 to my story, you know. Guess what?
Tell what happened.
Guess what happened to me this week?
I have no idea.
I had a pothole in New Jersey and took out my two front tires a second time. Can you believe that? What are the odds of that? 1 in 1.7 million? I don't know.
No, now it's 3.27 million.
I need to play the lottery is what I need to do, man. And, you know, I mean, I did
Wait,
post...
wait, before you tell me, inquiring minds want to know. Was it the same
Yeah,
pothole?
I know. Well, that's exactly what I was going to do. I know. I got a lot of wise guy friends that are telling me that, asking me that question. You know, you guys are all a bunch of comedians. Of course, it was the same. No, it was not. It was not. But I found out something that, you know, with the first time, I told you I was able to ride about 10 or 15 miles on it. So I had assumed that it was a run flat spare.
Okay.
Run flat
replacement.
tire. Yeah. So you really don't. So just like it becomes a donut almost. Where you can drive it. And I had asked these guys at the tire place. I said, run flats. How long do you get? 50 miles. You can go about 50 miles on it. So
that's pretty good.
So when this happened to me, again, thinking that this was a run flat tire, it happened on my way into work. So I went into work, and I said, I'm going to cut out at lunch, and I'm going to take a ride back to the place. The best place I'm going to have a chance, basically, of me not getting screwed with having to buy 2 new tires is going back to the place that I got the original tires from. So I get on the road, I'm driving, and the tire is wobbling, and it's making noise and things like that. So I pull off. The tire is smoking. It's got 3 holes in the side. It is not I find out now, it is not a run flat spare.
Oh, no.
So because I had been through the exercise, the week before, I knew I had to call AAA to get see if I can get a tow. So I make arrangement for the tow. And they said, would you like to be texted or would you like to be called back when we're going to arrive? I said, call me. So about 10 minutes later, the phone rings. And they said, we can't get you on the parkway. The state has to take you off the parkway.
I've heard that song before.
Yeah. And well, this is Jersey too. So they said they will either tow you to where you want to go or they'll tow you off of the thing so we could go and pick you up.
AAA.
But you got to pay right away. So I drove the car off. I didn't care, So I'm waiting and these guys show up and they're going to put me on a truck to take me to Bob's Tires. And the guy looks at my plates, he goes, and I own the fan. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I'm in enemy territory, so I figured this guy was a Devils fan, but it was worse than that. He was a Rangers fan. Oh man.
So this day is just getting worse.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So. And now I am really afraid to drive. I'm letting my wife drive this car because I think there's less potholes around here. And, with all the snow that we had over the last few, on Thursday, this is now prime pothole season.
Yes, it is. I wonder if you could sue the state of New Jersey to get money back.
Well, typically where those things work is basically if it's reported, they have so much time they need to remedy it, And if they don't,
the
then
first guy that hits it is out of luck.
Exactly right.
Well, you see, I was wondering because, when they give you the odds for the lottery, right? The assumption is that if it's, let's just use 1 in a million, right? The assumption is if you play the same numbers 1,000,000 times, you're going to hit it once, right? So every time you change your numbers, you reset the odds.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
So you would have thought, in your case, that if you continued to use the same car, you would be safe. But if you switched to your wife's car, you would immediately blow the tires out.
Well, these tires are, they're high performance and they're really kind of low profile. So I don't think they're as forgiving with some of these potholes as the Rogue would be. But time will tell. Time will tell.
Hopefully next week we'll have another story.
I don't need another story like this. I really don't. The PS on this thing though is when it happened to me the first time, and I was going to pick it up. I said, "What time you guys open till?" He said 6. I said, "I might not get there till after 6." He goes, "That's all right. Call me and let me know, and I'll stick around." So I got there around 6:30, and the guy was puffing on a cigar.
Oh.
So he's telling me, I said, "Well, I like cigars too, or whatever." And I told him I live down the block. He says, "We all hang out on Tuesdays in the summertime, smoking cigars, drinking beer, because there's a restaurant that's right next door to these guys." So he invites me to come down for that. And he says, "You know what, if you come back tomorrow, I'll bring you with cigars," what he told me. But he opens at 8 o'clock and I'm at work. I leave for work at 6:30, so I didn't go and pick it up. But he remembered me when he came back, so they covered the tires under warranty, which was good. And then he gave me 2 free cigars. Thank you, Bob.
There you go.
And as Stu Shipman said, love that Bob.
All righty. I just thought that was funny.
Oh, yeah. It was a riot for me, man,
Shall we talk about Charles Oakley?
Yes, let's do that.
All right.
What the heck is going on with the Knicks?
Well,
you know what? Last week we had, or maybe the last couple of weeks, we had this Carmelo Anthony is like,
right.
We're going to trade this guy. Now they're talking about the Zen Master doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and then it gets topped off with.
So Charles Oakley played 10 years for the Knicks, from 88 to 98, and he gave his heart and soul out there on the court. But for some reason, owner James Dolan has shunned Oakley during the season-long celebration of the Knicks' 70th season, as the former popular Knick has not been invited to participate in any of the activities, right? Okay. But on Wednesday, things took a turn for the worse, as Oakley got into an altercation with the Madison Square Garden security when they attempted to forcibly remove him from his seat, a seat he originally said he paid for. Turns out somebody else gave him the ticket. But I digress.
I'm not sure that's...
The audience for the nationally televised game between the Knicks and the Clippers saw the entire altercation, which escalated and turned semi-violent when MSG's security began putting their hands on Oakley to forcibly move him out of the arena. Oakley was later charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor assault. So the Garden releases this statement. Okay? They say, Charles Oakley came to the game tonight and behaved in a highly inappropriate and completely abusive manner. He has been ejected and is currently being arrested by the New York City Police Department. He was a great Knick, and we hope he gets some help soon. All right? So they're kind of inferring.
There's that salvo, yeah, shot across the bow, okay.
But Oakley had a different take on the events. He insisted that the security guard asked him to leave on Jim Dolan's request. The Knicks owner was sitting just a few rows in front of Oakley at the time. So this is what Oakley said. He says, I was there for 4 minutes. I didn't say anything to him. I swear on my mother. Right? That's a big swear.
I guess his mother must still be alive, because usually your mother's grave, I guess, right?
Well, he would say, I swear on my mother's grave.
Okay, yeah.
Which is not as much of a thing as if you swear on your mother.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, he said, they came over and wanted to know why I was sitting there. I bought the ticket. I said, why do you guys keep staring at me? Then they asked me to leave, and I said, I'm not leaving. Okay? Garden officials are sticking to the story that Oakley was shouting at Dolan before the security came over to him, and later issued another statement, basically saying that Oakley is a liar, liar, pants on fire. All of Oakley's statements were false, and dozens of security staff, employees, and NYPD witnessed Oakley's abusive behavior. It started when he entered the building and continued until he was arrested and left the building. Everything he said since the incident was fiction. All right? So who do you believe? You believe the guy who's swearing on his mother? Or do you believe MSG? Right?
I think that crooked media is involved in this in some way. I really do.
So, since the incident on Wednesday, the fans at the Ranger game on Thursday began chanting, "Free Charles Oakley." And then yesterday morning, Dolan fired his senior vice president of security at MSG and announced that Oakley had been banned from MSG for an indefinite period.
Sounds like double secret probation to me. Okay.
All right, now one of the things that we pride ourselves on here at the Glory Day Show is being able to not only bring you the stories everyone is talking about, but being able to bring you the guests that are part of the action. Okay? When the Jerry Sandusky story broke, we were able to talk directly to a student at Penn State. And when Bartolo Colon hit that historic home run in San Diego, we spoke directly to a fan who was in the stands. And when we first heard the story about deflated footballs, we spoke directly to one of the ball handlers for the New York Jets on what the actual proper protocol is. So continuing that great tradition, on our phone is a fan who was right in the middle of the action at last night's Knicks-Denver Nugget game. He was sitting in the exact same seats as Charles Oakley was.
Exact same seat.
That's what he told me.
Okay, that might be a stretch there. Okay. Okay.
Please welcome to the program, Al Badshaw. Al, how are you?
Hey, Paul, how's it going?
All right.
Al, you're from Massapequa. Okay, that's always a good good trait to have. Me too.
Listen, I just saw CYO basketball in Massapequa, and they played better defense than what I saw last night.
You know, let me just ask you a quickie question. I had told you before you went to the game, I said when you sit down that close, you look at them like when they're doing warm-ups and stuff, and the first thing you think of is the basket is too low.
You're so right. It's crazy how low it is, but then you see somebody like Kristaps Porzingis who looks like, Green Giant.
He looks like Lurch. He reminds me of Lurch from the Addams Family.
We were just wondering how he goes through life in general, being that tall.
You know, and you realize kind of like NFL linemen you know, like the offensive line, the defense. There's nothing else in life they could do. You know, they're not going to be sitting behind a desk like, you know, you and I do, working on screen changes.
Yeah, well, they usually run security maybe afterwards, you know.
Exactly.
Maybe at a topless bar. Or
So
something.
tell us what went on last night at the Garden.
So as we entered the Garden, we could hear, you know, Free Charles Oakley, Fire Dolan chants from the outside. So there were like, it wasn't there weren't a lot of protesters, but they were loud enough where they made themselves known, you know. And so, you know, we went in, and it was funny because the chant started, you know, way before tip-off. It was crazy. But it didn't help that Dolan was also there. He was sitting, I think, in the front row for the first quarter.
Oh, he was there last night? I'm surprised he went to the game last night.
He was there, and I think that fired up a lot of the fans also. So one fan actually, I don't know if you saw it in the papers, but we saw it right there. One fan actually managed to get a poster that said something, you know, like Free Oakley right behind Dolan's seat. And security ended up having to remove the sign.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
So we can zoom in.
We actually have the newspaper here.
Right
here.
Yep.
Oops. Other hand. There we go. What am I doing? Here we
You're covering it.
go. All right. All right.
There
All
it
right,
is.
There we go.
You know what? You could go out and buy the Post and see the picture. So,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
I was surprised that Dolan was there at all because, you know, he's usually kind of like, besides being hated by everybody, Ranger fans and Knick fans alike, plus every single person that has cable vision on Long Island hates the entire Dolan family,
Right.
you know?
Right. It's they're trying to go on the what's called the charm offensive, I think it's called, and it's not working very well.
No, you know, they're talking about fire Dolan. You can't fire the owner. He owns
exactly.
the team. Not only does he own the team, he owns the building.
The building.
He also
You know
owns
what?
Radio City.
Yeah.
He owns the building.
They're actually. I mean, I give credit to the folks. They're trying to monetize it. I saw Free Oakley T-shirts being sold outside. So
Why not?
Why
Did you
not?
buy one?
I should have.
Might be a collector's item. Who knows, man? You know.
Well, you know
But,
what?
you know,
go ahead.
They started the games. You know, the Knicks started tanking in the end of the third, fourth quarter, and that's when the real we want Oakley, you know, chance because you know he could have played better defense.
Sure.
So
Well, you know who he's really good friends with? He's really good friends with LeBron James, Charles Oakley, right? And the Knicks are going to Cleveland in a few games. I forget when they're going. I wonder if LeBron James buys a ticket for Charles Oakley right
Oh,
wow, that would be something.
I don't know.
That would be something. Yeah, I mean they're saying you know let's boycott the Knicks games and all that, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because if they were going to, I mean, why would you go? I mean, first of all, most of those tickets are corporate tickets anyway,
Right.
Especially down where you were. By the way, was there a face price on the ticket you had last night?
Yeah, I think they were like 405 face,
Wow.
but you know.
But that's pretty good considering where you were sitting. We have a picture of you and Renee that somebody took, giving us an idea of where you were sitting. And that's a pretty good ticket for pretty good place to sit for $400.
Oh yeah, I mean it was close enough where we could kind of see what they call celebrity row in front. And then I got to hear like a fan go up to a security guard and ask him what he thinks about the whole situation, and he kept a stone cold face. Like
I'm sure he
was
did.
one of
Yeah,
those,
well,
like
I don't think they're
guards
allowed to
in front
talk
of
about it.
fucking
They like
Palace.
the British, you know, the British guys in the big hat. You know, they're not allowed to say anything. They're allowed to, you know, they call it the MSG gulag. Is what they call it. All righty, Al, we got to
Exactly.
go. We're running up against the break here.
Thanks for the
All
call.
right, thank you guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Al.
appreciate it.
That's Al Batcher. That's Al Batcher, our
From
first time
Massapequa.
From Massapequa, the center of the universe. All righty, we're just getting started here on the Glory Day Show, and right after the break, it's finally time to pay homage to the best quarterback in the NFL history and the greatest coach, as we talk to one of the happiest people on the planet, other than our producer, Pete Torgerson. Stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. Somewhere about halfway through the third quarter of the Super Bowl, with the Atlanta Falcons cruising to a sure victory with a 28-3 lead, my colleague over here must have had a huge smile on his face. After all, he not only predicted the Falcons were going to beat the New England Patriots, he predicted they were going to win big, 35-17, I believe. And although he's never been known to count his chickens before they hatch, it certainly looked like it was on the line for the evil empire and another year of having to kiss his stupid Super Bowl ring. But once again, the Patriots did what no one else has ever done in Super Bowl history, scoring 31 straight points for an improbable 34-28 win. Is this combination of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick the greatest quarterback-coach combo in NFL history? On our phone is a man who has never wavered in his belief in what his team can accomplish. This is not just some fanboy who was blinded by his love for a football team. If you're a frequent viewer of this program, you know that his Bruins and his Red Sox stink, he's the first to offer a true analysis. But not so with the Patriots, maybe because they never disappoint. Please welcome back to the program, Mr. New England, Pete Torgerson. Pete, you out there?
I think I'm still drunk.
Are you still lubed up? Oh, my God.
You know what? I was thinking of you guys because when we were talking last week, you said, what happens if they're down 21-0? And I said, they'll adjust, don't worry about it. And now they're down by 25. I'm like, what's going to happen here?
Even you wavered a little, just a little, in the back of your mind.
I was confident.
When they made it 20, you're telling me that when they made it 28-3, and even when they got the first touchdown and clanked the extra point, a little thing didn't go through you saying, man, this just ain't going to happen.
But when Steven hit the upright, I'm like, oh no, this isn't our day. But hang in there. But and now, how about this one? How about if Gostkowski makes that extra point? Now we move forward. Now they score. They get 2, and now they need 1 to tie, 2 to win. What do they do? Do they go for it with that last touchdown with what was it, a minute left?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I think knowing Belichick, he would have gone for the extra point.
Yeah.
And take his chances in overtime. And the overtime didn't last all that long, did it?
That's because he's smart and everybody else is stupid. Okay? Thinking about the Atlanta Falcons, and, obviously it's easy to say what they should have done or whatever. But the Julio Jones catch should have ended the game for them, because all they had to do was run the ball 3 times. Even if they don't get a first down, they got a shot at the field goal, plus they've taken 2 minutes. And if they don't get to do that, New England would have had to use all 3 of their timeouts, which they most likely would have, because Belichick called timeout after the first play, right? So at least they would have had no timeouts left, and they would have been down by 2 scores.
This is now the second Super Bowl the Patriots have won where the other team just made a monumental gaffe, coaching decision.
And you know why? You guys are overlooking the obvious. It's because Belichick and Brady had 97% of those guys' brain.
Yes.
Everybody on the Atlanta staff, everybody on the bench. Did you see the Patriots pornography this week where they had everybody mic'd up?
Yeah.
And the guys on the Atlanta bench, they're up by 25, and they're like, I don't know. They got Brady over there.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's in their head for sure.
To give you an idea.
And then
go ahead.
And then we get the Edelman catch comes through. It was just, everything just fell into place. It was unbelievable.
And you hear what Belichick was chanting when he was on the podium during the parade?
What?
Yeah.
No days off. And
then one of the guys sent him a text the other day, Bill, I won't be in today. I'm taking the day off. I think Nikovich did. So what were you guys doing? Disco, you must have been dying because you knew how it was going to end.
I knew how it was going to end. I texted my son when they scored the touchdown to make it 28-20. I texted my son. I said, you know what? I know how this movie ends.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. And I just knew it. I just knew they were going to come back. Even though 91 yards, right? Well, they have 2 minutes, little over 2 minutes left when they took over the ball. 91 yards.
But it's Tom Brady, man. It's what it is. It's Tom Brady.
Did you see the first 2-point conversion that they made was the same play that they ran in the Carolina Super Bowl?
I can't say I noticed that, but I know they scored on it.
Yeah. And those 2-pointers, they're tricky. They're hard, and that's what I said. Oh man, if they lose by 2 by missing
first of all, to have to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal, right? And 2 2-point conversions. Who does that? Who allows that?
You know who does that? The greatest of all time. That's who does that.
Well, I made a promise to you, Pete. I said that if they this was before, when it was 28-20, I made a promise to you, and I said that if they come back and win this game, I will not disparage them again. And I am going to stick to that promise. I am. I'm sticking to that promise.
I find that hard to believe.
As a matter of fact, here, I have a box of crow, which I know you can't see, and I am going to eat crow while I'm here on the air. I hope there's something in here.
And how great is the Goodell, that worm? He's squirming all over the place.
Pete, I want to ask you, what did you think of the Lady Gaga halftime show? Did you watch that, or were you getting lubed up at the time?
No, I was going to the crock pot and getting the lasagna out. It was
okay.
I saw a little of it. I'm a Lady Gaga fan. I heard her on Stern.
I thought she was really good.
Yeah, I did too.
But I did find, as I was watching it, she was standing on the roof, and they had all those drones behind her making like the American flag or whatever they were doing. And then she jumps off the roof, right? And she's floating on a wire down into the thing.
Stage?
Onto the stage. And I said to my wife, that's impossible. She says, why? She says, she's on a wire. I said, the roof. She wasn't standing in the middle of the field. I said, the roof is on the edge. It's on the edge in the fan. How could she jump down and all of a sudden end up in the middle of the field on a rope?
It's a miracle.
Turns out, it was fake. Not fake. That part where she was on the roof.
It was an alternate roof.
Was previously filmed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, previously filmed.
And when she came down, she dropped from the middle of the stadium.
Okay. All right.
So
there you go.
But I don't know. I enjoyed the show. Anyway, you want some statistics?
Why not?
Let me give you one thing, though.
Right.
I'm watching ESPN now, and there's a guy. They're in Oklahoma City, and there's a Barstool guy standing behind the thing. He has KD loves Goodell So
Yeah.
Goodell is hated throughout the country because of Barstool, because of the Patriots. It's awesome how this guy is squirming. Now he's mad at the Patriots because they came off the plane with the Goodell with the clown nose T-shirt.
The clown nose T-shirt, yeah.
Yeah, and then Amendola had a Fire Goodell shirt on in the parade. It's awesome. You watch; he's going to start suspending people now to show that he's really in charge. But
Yeah, well,
I love it.
How's he going to suspend people for that? He's got to just say, you know what?
He's going to build a wall around New England.
What he really needs to do is he should show up. I mean, I'm assuming that the Patriots play the opening game this year, right?
Yeah.
The Thursday
Yep.
game before the season
He won't
starts.
be. He won't.
He's got to
he
be
won't.
there.
He'll be in Atlanta. He'll be at the Braves game.
So the Patriots set 24 Super Bowl records.
That's all?
At that game, 24.
That's all. Come on, Pete. Give me a break.
And most of them they broke were from the 49ers of the 80s and the 90s. Okay? But you know,
Yeah.
Brady's jersey is still missing. Right? And how do you sell that? How do you sell that on
Yeah.
eBay?
You know, my brother lives in
It's in
Houston.
the bottom of the bag in one of those trucks. That are
Your
coming
brother
back.
was in
Sure.
Houston that day?
Yeah.
Ooh, we got to see if Pete comes off the plane today wearing a Tom Brady jersey.
The ball's missing too. The winning touchdown ball is missing too.
Oh, is it?
You know what's funny? After he scored the touchdown, he was running around, and I know these are the stupid things that I think about. And then I saw him running in the end zone without the football. And I said,
Yeah.
what did he do? Did he spike it? Did he throw it into... Because they didn't follow him after he scored the touchdown. They immediately
No, he
went
just
to
he
like
just left it
Brady
there.
and stuff. What? What'd you say, Pete?
He just left it there. He acted like he's been there before.
Well,
Do you know that the team that has worn the white jersey in the Super Bowl has won 12 of the last 13 Super Bowls?
I knew it. I knew it was 11 out of 12 before this game. Yes,
And
I
did
did
you
know
know
that.
that-
How about the MVP losing six Super Bowls? The regular season MVP.
Yeah.
That's interesting, too.
Yep.
And did you know that the MVP of the Super Bowl no longer gets a truck?
What's he
No,
get?
but they,
The last time they awarded a truck in 2014, Brady won the truck but gave it to Malcolm Butler because
Right.
he had the interception that won the game for them. So Brady said during the game in the locker room, saying that he thought he was going to be presented with the truck the next day and that he was going to give it to James White. And James White was all excited about it. And then Brady says, I got there and I don't get a truck anymore. So
Does he get anything?
Well, I don't know. He didn't say what he got. I'm assuming he got money or a trophy or something. So then you know what?
So you know what happened?
Conan O'Brien bought a F-150 for James White and gave it to him on his show.
Gave it to James. Why
sure
should
he
have given it
didn't
to
buy
Brady? Let Brady hand it to him.
No, he gave it to James White.
Wow.
Well,
Did we go back to the replay to see from last week to see what everybody's predictions were?
oh yeah, let's
let's
just do
do
that. So Pete, we had all the predictions last week,
Yeah.
and obviously you were not close, although you said 37-20.
Yeah.
Our Joe Battaglia had New England 27-24. Trey Looney had 28-20, and Mark Hogan had 30-27. And these are our predictions. Now, I had Atlanta 35-17, which was
Of course you did.
pretty
That should be
good.
thrown out. That's
That was
biased.
looking pretty good around the halfway through the third period. Now, Mr. Bruce had 31-27.
New England.
New England. And our producer, Anthony Mazzallo, had New England 35-30. So I think that's the winner.
Yeah, that's close. I mean, he had a 5-point differential. I had a 4. So I guess I'd have to give him the nod too, reluctantly.
But then again, if we
Reluctantly.
play, maybe we should be playing Price is Right rules.
Yeah.
In which case, he's out.
'Cause he went over?
He went over with
I
the
like
New
that
England
rule.
35.
I like that rule. Okay.
So therefore, we are awarding the Super Bowl ring to Mr. Bruce.
Oh.
There you go.
Actually, it's only between me and Bruce anyway, so you weren't even eligible for it.
Here we go. Get closer to that.
My friend who's a high school coach in Connecticut, the New Haven paper asked him, and he hit it right on the money.
Really?
Really? 34-28.
There is no recount, my friend. All right. Do you know that of the 3 oldest quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl, 2 of them came against Atlanta?
Yeah?
Yep.
Who were the other ones?
Who?
Denver.
Denver.
Beat Atlanta.
Okay. And
And
it was at Elway?
It might have been Elway, I forget. Do you know how much money the Fox network made on commercials? $509 million.
$1 million.
Just on commercials alone. Okay.
That's a good day.
Let me see. What else did I have here? Oh, here's an interesting thing. Okay, Nevada.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. The bookies recorded $138 million in bets. Okay, and they made more than $10 million. Right, and that's because New England not only covered the spread, but also came in with the over/under, which is unusual. Normally, if the favor covers the spread, they don't get the over/under.
I see.
Okay, so, but if New England had won by a field goal, okay, that would have made it 31-28. It would have been a push on the spread, and it would have been a push on the over/under.
Wow.
So Nevada would have had to refund all that money other than the VIG.
Unbelievable.
You know, they were rooting for her. And I was privately...
I heard all the money was on Atlanta this year.
Yeah, well, that's why they made a lot of money.
That's why the line wasn't moving in it.
Yep.
So.
And me, I was personally rooting for a New England touchdown. First of all, I knew they were going to win the game anyway.
Yeah, right.
At that point. But I was rooting for a touchdown because my wife
had some pretty special numbers.
$450.
Yeah.
So she promptly went out and bought a Tom Brady jersey.
A Tom Brady blow-up doll. I don't know.
Well, Pete, I gotta say, I give up. They are the best. There's nothing that can compare to them. I can't, even when the Yankees were dominating, it was different because the Yankees were always better than the other team. When the Boston Celtics won all those things, the Celtics were always better. The Islanders were better. These teams, but when you look at this New England team, you just can't say that they're better than everybody else. They're not.
But they beat everybody, so they are.
Everybody.
So they are.
They covered 14 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Ever since they lost that game, that Buffalo game?
Yep.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
All righty, Pete. You are the man, and
All right.
I give you props.
Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you when we do our baseball extravaganza. Always like to hear what's going on with the Sox, and we'll probably talk about the NHL probably pretty soon, too.
Yeah,
Islanders are playing a little better hockey, which
the
is
Bruins
nice.
fired their coach this week.
I know.
How about
Yep.
the Bruins? They fired their coach the Tuesday morning of the parade, and then they have the press conference at 11:45, right when the parade was in. What a bunch of weasels.
Talk about burying the lead.
Yeah, they caught some heat over it.
All righty, Pete. I hope your daughter's okay. I know you said something about her being hurt.
Yeah, they open up against Maryland today, and she's on the disabled list. It looks like she's going to redshirt this year.
Ooh.
So,
Was that too much partying, like my friend Bruce said?
She has a foot fracture that just isn't healing. So
Was it from jumping up and down after winning the Super Bowl, was it?
yeah, the one 2 years ago.
Okay, Pete, good talking to you, my friend.
All right, guys.
All righty, man. We're going to take another break on the Glory Days show, and when we get back, we will switch gears and talk a little bit about baseball and some of the rule changes that'll be tried out in the minors this year in an effort to improve the quote-unquote pace of play. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. Major League Baseball seems to be having an identity crisis. In trying to attract more eyeballs to their product, Commissioner Rob Manfred is looking to improve on what he calls the pace of play. Seems surveys and polls indicate that the casual fan is bored by baseball as it currently exists because it's not the fast-paced action of football, basketball, or hockey.
There's no fights. Come on.
Seems the younger kids are not as excited about baseball as the older kids. So to try and combat the 3-hour snooze fest that have permeated the regular season, the keepers of the game are looking to use some gimmicks to move things along. Well, the NBA added a 3-point shot. The NHL changed their overtime to a 3-on-3 format this year and introduced a shootout a number of years ago to break ties. Well, baseball is considering, in the event of a tie after 9 innings, starting every extra inning with a runner on second base. And you thought my idea of breaking the all-star tie with a mini home run derby was ludicrous, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, right? Actually, that might even be better than putting a runner on second base. Because, you do something like that, and baseball is a game of statistics. Every sport is a game of statistics. I understand it. But who's the all-time leader in football touchdowns?
All-time leader in football touchdowns?
Right.
I have no idea.
Right. Why?
What?
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In football. Who's the all-time leader in goal scoring? You know it's Wayne Gretzky, but do you know what the number is?
No.
No.
800 something, I guess.
But if I said 714 or 755, you know immediately you're talking about
Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron,
right?
respectively.
Right, okay. Because baseball's life is numbers, and there's statistics. And if you do something like that.
So but let's get to what are the proposals for things.
Well, first of all, what they're trying to do is they're trying to speed up the game.
Yeah, okay.
Because they say that the pace of the game is too slow. It's not. I don't think they're talking about the actual length of a game.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about the pace of the game. So they're trying to do things that are going to speed up the game, and one of the proposals is the intentional walk.
Okay.
Making it automatic, just send the guy to first. And
Yeah.
again, that's ludicrous. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
The other one is that they're talking about when you get to extra innings.
Starting the guy at second base.
Starting the guy at second base, which is just stupid. We don't. When it gets to extra innings, we don't want to end the game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They do drug tests, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Why don't they drug test these guys? Come with these ideas. That is one of the most ridiculous ideas I ever heard.
Now
right behind, you automatically go to first base. You don't have to throw the 4 balls.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
But those aren't the only 2 proposals.
No,
right?
the other proposal is one that I really think is not bad. They want to raise the strike zone.
Raise the strike zone.
Raise the strike zone. Okay. First of all,
what, the upper part of it or the lower part?
The
of it?
lower part of it. Okay. The strike zone since 1966.
Yeah.
The lower part of the strike zone is defined as the hollow beneath your kneecap. So if you could feel your kneecap, right below your kneecap, you have this little indentation.
I always thought it was knees to shoulders is what I thought it was.
Well, that's what That's what they do in like Little League and stuff. So what they want to do is they want to raise it to
above your knee?
just above your knee.
All right. And how's that going to speed the game up?
Well, it may not speed the game up, but if they rise, the hardest thing for a hitter when a pitcher is getting tired and he's getting batted around, what do they say? His pitches are up.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to hit a ball that's in the strike zone than it is a ball that's down by your knees.
Yeah.
Right? Or a low pitch. So
they want to raise the strike
zone. It
zone.
will put the ball in play more. They're not raising it above here. They're just raising it from there.
So they're shrinking it, really.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, well, doesn't that mean you're actually shrinking the strike zone? But apparently that's one of the things that they want to do. So those are the three things. The high strike zone, the intentional walk, and...
They doing anything about instant replay?
No.
Because that takes too long. You know what I mean? There should be a time limit, basically. If
They're
after 2.5 minutes they can't decide, you know what, the ruling on the field stands.
Right. And let's take a couple of them individually. Okay. Intentional walk.
Automatic intentional.
Automatic intentional walk. Since Barry Bonds retired, intentional walks are actually down.
Yeah.
There's
How long does it take to intentionally walk a play?
But there's only one intentional walk every 5 games.
Yeah.
So what are you saving? You're shaving what, a minute?
Yeah.
Off a game? You know, the things that they put in place last year were that the batter can't leave the batter's box unless he swings at a pitch. So if it's a ball, if it's a called strike or a ball, you're not allowed to leave the batter's box. Okay. But if you foul a ball off, you can go out, you can do this, you can
adjust your Johnson, whatever you want to do.
Right. Okay. So here's what I was thinking. We're not all these things are only going to speed up the game by a few minutes. So it's the difference between a 2-hour and 59-minute game and a 2-hour and 55-minute game.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Immaterial.
Why don't they go back and look at the games from the 60s and the 70s? Okay, those games barely broke 2 hours. 2:15 was considered a long game. Okay, what was different back then than what they're doing today?
Well, I think there's probably a lot more pitching changes.
But the rules, the basic rules haven't changed.
It's
true. Still 4 balls. It's still 3 strikes. You still have to get 3 outs. I mean, nothing as far as the rules of the game changed. So pitching hasn't really changed. They still warm up when they go on the mound. Okay, but like you said, pitching changes have changed the game. Do you know that in the '69 World Series, the Mets had only 6 pitchers on their roster
for the World Series,
and the Baltimore Orioles had 7.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing. You know, the thing with a pitcher coming in and a pitcher coming out to face one batter and then the next guy comes in, that's at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time that happens, at least, right? The other thing that I noticed, because every now and then they show like classic games.
Yeah.
Okay. Even the Yankee classics from the early '70s and the Mets from the World Series. The thing that I noticed was, number one, the pitchers threw the ball quicker. And I don't mean faster. Just got the ball pitched, got the ball pitched. The batter was always in the batter's box. Never left the batter's box. Okay. Every time a foul ball was hit, and one of the coaches would retrieve it, or an outfielder would go and retrieve the foul ball as it went down the line, he'd pick it up, throw it back to the pitcher. They use the same ball. Again, I don't know, you're talking about seconds, but every time a pitch hits the ground, they take it out, and they have to give him a new ball, right? So it's not, in my opinion, it's not the length of the game, okay?
Well, as you said, they talk about the pace. So I guess they really don't care that it's 3 hours. Maybe it'll stay 3 hours.
So let's talk about a couple things. Why does the manager need to go out onto the field to talk to the pitcher?
When he's taking him out.
No, before he's taking him out.
Yeah.
They get two. You get 2 visits.
Well, but it's usually that the manager goes the first time. It's usually the pitching coach.
Right. So why does the pitching coach has to do that? They normally do that because the other guy is warming up in the bullpen. They're trying to stall for time. I think that it should be very quickly. Manager comes out to you. Only time a manager or a coach could come out to the mound is if the pitcher is injured or you're taking him out. And again, I don't even know why the manager has to actually come out and take the guy out to the mound, right?
That's right.
Why don't you just change him? He doesn't go out and talk to the center fielder.
Send him a text message. You're out of the game, man. I'm replacing you.
And also, how about limiting the number of changes in an inning?
I like that.
Okay. Now, because right now it's like the last 2 minutes of a basketball game.
Takes forever.
Foul, timeout.
Yep.
Foul, timeout. Foul, time. I mean, barring an injury, what would you think would be realistic? 2 pitching changes? Because 2 pitching changes would mean you started with 1 pitcher, and you get 2 more changes. You tell me a major league pitcher can't get, a major league team can't get 3 outs with 3 pitchers? Right? Barring an injury.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about for a reliever?
Yeah.
Okay. When a reliever comes into the game, does he really need 7 pitches?
Yeah, you were talking about that off camera before.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Because I understand
the guy's been warming up all along, right?
But also, as a pitcher goes on in the game, maybe even the starting pitcher doesn't need 7 pitchers in the 7th inning. Maybe the first 3 innings he gets 7. The next 3 innings he gets only 6. And the next 3 innings he gets only 5. Because, a lot of times when you play, and that's why I like to talk to Jimmy Baseball about this, a lot of times the pitchers in like travel leagues, and they just say, I'm all right, just give me 2 pitches, I just want to loosen up. Because they don't want to burn themselves out, So I'd like to say that a reliever who's been warming up in the bullpen, just come in, give him 3 pitches, 2-3 pitches, just get the feel of the mound.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're going to speed the game up all that much, though.
But again, we're talking increments here.
Yeah.
One of the things about pitching changes is that, if it shaves a minute or 2 off of the warm-up time, right? And you've got 4 pitches in a game. Now you're talking 4 minutes. Both teams, it's 8 minutes. You're talking about significant differences. But I really think that, I know.
I tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see them adopt either they got a DH in both leagues or even a DH in none of the leagues. And that's not going to change the pace of the game or anything like that. But I think it should be, a standard.
You can't have. Could you imagine hockey playing where one league allows 2 goalies?
Right. Well, that's a little ridiculous to make a point, though.
But just saying, how could you have any league where you have maybe before interleague play, you could have the American League playing with the DH and the National League playing without the DH. But with interleague games, that doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah.
That rule's got to change. I mean, personally, I was never a big fan of the DH. Maybe
we're National League fans. I mean, I think there's a lot more strategy involved with you having to worry about your pitcher batting and how you're going to, these guys, they keep them in longer, too, in the American League,
Yeah. And, I did an article about the DH, and really, statistically, the DH doesn't amount to a lot more runs in a game than in the National League, And if you remember, the DH was a gimmick. And the reason why they did the DH, I think it was in '73, right?
Yeah.
Ron Bloomberg was the first DH, right? Was because the National League outscored the American League by a couple of 100 runs. And the American League said, well, you know what, we got to do something to put more offense into our game. So they came up with the DH.
Yeah, that was the rationale.
That was the rationale back then. And it was only supposed to be a 5-year experiment.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing about the DH, and I know we're transgressing about, is that nobody in the minor leagues of either league is developing a DH. Nobody is, they use the DH, but you're not developing players specifically to hit.
No.
So
they got to be able to play the
so
field
that
too,
means that position is only used because you want to get another bat in the lineup, or you give it to somebody to give them a day off. Derek Jeter, one of the greatest players of all time, I know, it came out of my mouth, but said he hated being the DH. He just hated it. And they give it to players who need a day off. So what kind of a position is that?
I don't like it. I've never liked it.
Never liked it.
That's right.
It's out.
Bah humbug. You know?
All righty. Go to our final break.
Yes, let's do that.
When we come back, we'll wrap up for the weekend. How about that?
Sounds good.
Stay with us. You watch the Gloria Day Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Russ. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
Welcome back to the Gloria Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. So what did we learn today?
Well, I learned that I should probably play the lottery, considering that the odds of me blowing out two tires twice is pretty
astronomical.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's almost like hitting the lottery. Well, I learned that if Madison Square Garden is right, and that Charles Oakley really did all those things that he says he didn't do, his mother is dead.
Yeah.
Free Charles Oakley.
Yeah. And that is really a sad situation, though. You know, and I don't know why I mean, they talked about the fact, the lead-in was that basically he hasn't been recognized for, the 70 years of the Knicks.
It's the 70-year anniversary. All year they've been recognizing the players and stuff. And they,
So they people like Starks?
Oh yeah, everybody.
John Starks?
I think that
Patrick Ewing.
earlier in the year, Charles Oakley had some very bad things to say about the Knicks and what they did with Dolan and the whole thing.
I see.
So I think that Dolan just hates him and doesn't want him around.
I know Dolan reminds me of Trump. He just got very thin skin, doesn't like anybody criticizing him.
And I'll say one other thing. Leave baseball alone.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Leave it alone. If people don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. If you want to get a new fan base for baseball, then during the playoffs and the World Series, have some day games on the weekends.
That
the kids could watch them.
Excellent point.
Instead
Excellent
of every
point.
game, even if it's a Sunday, it's the only game on a Sunday, you're starting it at 9 o'clock at night.
That's crazy.
The kids can't even stay up and watch it. That's what we learned baseball, because we used to watch baseball. And we used to play baseball.
Good point. All right.
All righty. And I hate snow now more than ever.
Do you?
I do. I hate the snow. All right. Thanks to our producers, Anthony Mazzallo and Bonnie Schultz, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. Thanks to Al Batcher and Pete Torgerson for helping us out today. And hopefully, Pete, you need to dry out. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this type of quality programming. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inravio.com to watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Hey, next week, we're going to have a real live baseball player on the show, Jonathan Mulford, who is a rookie pitcher in the Cardinals organization. As we get ready for the opening of spring training, and him too. He's a Massapequa boy.
Yeah.
This has been a Massapequa-centered show.
That's Scott's son?
Scott Mulford's son, yeah.
I know his dad then. Okay.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.